Hobby now. Today is February 7th, 2024. I am your host, ZiggyNo. We're broadcasting in podcast format. I don't know how many episodes. I forgot. Weekly content on what's going on in and around the sports card hobby, my take, and a little bit about what I'm doing in the hobby. Today, we're going to talk about, should we just have been calling it gamblers and collectors the whole time? Like, are there really any investors in sports cards? They don't care. A common theme I'm going to hit on several times in this. They don't care. The grading numbers were in, monthly grading numbers. I'm just going to hit on them because it is the 7th. I think last week I dropped my video before the numbers came out. Maybe it was after the numbers came. I think I put it out Thursday last week, if I'm not mistaken. We'll touch on that because we're talking about PSA on the Death Star, stealing the Death Star analogy from Neo. SGC. Are people finally catching up on what's going on with SGC? I love the criticism. Um, Little hobby rant. They'll probably be looping back into they don't care. I do want to talk about shout outs to Panini for investing in the NBA All-Star game. They're making packs. They're doing special Tops Now cards for the event. It should be something interesting. I'm definitely going to be paying attention. I almost wish Panini was doing numbered cards in the Tops Now cards. Leaf and the Stanley Cups, 101. Couple of things I saw videos around the hobby. One that caught my attention was Lotbox talking about going and making this a business, going into cards full time. Can you do that? Absolutely could. First off the line drop this week, 100. Oh, I'm sorry, $1,250 per box. I think about what the price was. Um, I also am going to do a separate video. I'm just going to mention here: set registry and hit tracking. I think there's a business there. I think there's an opportunity. I don't know why no one's taking off that. Maybe it's because like someone said before, maybe they don't want it. I still think there's a great opportunity for it. I just anyway, again, let's thank you guys for being here. I'm going to start off by talking about the uh, gambler collector conversation. But before I do that, let me just quickly do a shout out, not a sponsor, but a shout out to Flipping Steve Sports Cards, Flipping Steve channel. The reason I say that, if you do one thing right now, if you've gotten this far in my video, go watch Flipping Steve, subscribe to his channel. He's doing some really great vlog content with his dog, and I love his videos. Okay, they're fun. The reason you should be doing that is if you want to win a trip to the National. He has put together a contest which will go by you following his content, and then he'll have like a trivia game or some type of way to narrow it down. He does this every year, and he sends one person to the National. I'm excited to say I'm a part sponsor of that. I was in the fantasy football league that got my ass kicked, but Steve's doing that, and he made a comment. He goes, I don't know why more people don't shout that out. He's absolutely right. I don't know why every one of the 12 channels I was involved in that doesn't say, hey, every week, make sure you're following Steve to get a chance to win the trip to the National, co-sponsored by myself. I'm super excited about that. It's weird how this hobby is. It's very weird. We'll get to that later on in my little rant. Okay, but let's talk about gambler versus collector. I bring this topic up because I've seen a lot of great content coming out there about breakers, and I'm a big fan of the breaking community. You're probably watching this video. You might have missed my live earlier with Michael Ham talking about breaking. First thing I'll say is I think the people who buy into breaks, the guys who are buying into them, should have. Why is there not more conversation? It will, and I'll talk about that in my show. But we all who are in breaks admit that it is a form of gambling. I'm taking a risk. I'm making a guess. I'm randomly grabbing. I'm taking a chance. I'm praying to God. I sacrifice a squirrel, whatever it might be. It's gambling. The people who sell the service, who create breaks, they know it's gambling. Like, who the hell are we fooling? It's gambling. And then I guess here's the challenge because one breaker made a comment, well, you don't stop kids from buying boxes at the hobby, I mean, at Target or Walmart. I thought to myself, why not? Why don't we? Why don't we? I mean, I don't want to be that negative Nancy, overprotective parent. I think cigarettes should be out there too, I guess. I don't know. That's not the right answer. But why are cigarettes protected behind the counter? You have to be 18 to buy cigarettes. But a box of cards, which clearly has chances and odds and chases on it, that has value that people are going after, that's what creates a secondary market chase of this thing in the first place. Why is that not, should I say the word regulate? I don't know. I don't know. So I've come to realize, look, there's two types of people in the hobby. The modern hobbyist, And then there's the collector. There's a person who likes to chase. I like open and wax. I like ripping. I cannot believe that somewhere in your brain, chemicals, what's going on is you are a gambler. You're addicted to the rush. You like to jump out of airplanes with the parachute on. I don't know what it is, but you're a gambler. You're not collector. Now, what I think happens is we rationalize the dopamine drop when we don't hit the cards with, oh, I'm going to PC this. Oh, that's part of my PC. I've always been an Orioles fan. It kind of it's what did someone say in the in sales? You emotionally justify, no, I'm sorry, you logically justify an emotional decision. So when you buy into a break, take a chance and you miss, and the emotions, oh man, I'm down. You logically, well, it is a PC card. It's part of my I'm an Orioles fan. I do like the cards. I'm a collector for. So just something to think about. But I do think I don't know where I'm going with this. And when I know where I'm going with this in my conversation tonight, but I don't know where I'm going with this on my journey. I originally wanted to make the hobby better. I'm going to be breaking better. Do I want this to be regulated? I think so. I don't think we're doing a good job. But if you ask a breaker what should be regulated, the first thing we're going to talk about is, well, do you think kids should be in breaks? I don't. I don't. I think it should be adults only. They should be adults only with controlled app access. I think data should be important to share. I think you should share the serial numbers of the boxes and products you open so I, the purchaser, can be willing to track the hits and what's coming in the box, right? I should have this just as much right as you do. I think that would also give me more consumer protection if I get into a break and something's wrong where I can file. Hey, it was in case number 45 on this guy's break. And here I'm the purchaser of teams, the Angels, and my Angels card has a ding corner. So it should give me path to redemptions, or not just redemption, but factory recovery. They ask you where you got your card. I should have the same right to point to the break I got the card into and get it corrected for when things go bad. It's been done on video. You see what I'm saying? Like that chain of custody should go both ways. That should be a happiness in the breaking gambling / world. The collector piece. So let's talk about this. I was listening to Blue Jacket the other day, and he made a great comment. He doesn't care what Fanatics does because he's a collector, always be a collector. It's not going to change. And I love that. Take that red pill for a moment out there, hobbyist. What he basically said is, I don't give a shit about modern sports. What modern shiny chase bell whistle number 1 of 1 autograph by a guy who's an angel from heaven himself came down and blessed the card doesn't make a difference, because I'm only collecting vintage cards of my favorite players because I like the historical significance. I like the building a sag. They don't care about all that other stuff. It could stop. They would just collect up, and as Blue Jacket gets to like 150, he'd look back and start collecting cards finally from modern, because they'd be vintage to him. You see what I'm saying? Like they don't care, and that's profound. So I think I'm trying to think myself: is there any other industry that has that? Is the word dichotomy? I don't think it's the right word. Dichotomy? No, I don't think it. A division of gambler, chaser, and passionate collector, hobbit-like collector. I just can't explain it. It's amazing. I think it's unique. I do think it's unique to collecting of sports cards. I think some cards have that, but sports cards are unique. Sports cards are unique. Pokemon does not have the same chase. And that's one other reason why Pokemon and all those TCGs, I know it's Pokemon. Those don't have number cards because they have stayed away from what they all know, and that it's gambling. In fact, why does Cards in Canada have to have the math question on there? Because they recognize there's math, there's a chase in this. It needs to be some type of law that makes it a question of intelligence. I think what the reason is, but governments recognize this is a form of gambling. Once we recognize that, then we can start to enjoy, just like the rest of the industry is enjoying gambling. Who are you guys betting on this weekend? Real quickly here, guys. I just want to say I put a $10 bet and a future bet back in September that the Chiefs will beat the 49ers this weekend. And that was back in September. I'm feeling squirmish about that. I think the Chiefs are going to lose. But if that bet hits, I get paid 38 to 1, $380 for that $10 bet. I'm super excited about that. So clearly I'm rooting for the Chiefs. My friends like, get a hedge the bet on the 40. I know. Just I'm sharing that with you. I'm thinking about that on the Sunday ahead. Okay. Gamblers, collectors. So who do we blame for this? Well, I'll tell you right now, it's the manufacturers. If the manufacturers really care about collectors and want to make the hobby clean again, just go ahead and print like they did in 1980s. Make one set, make 10 sets of baseball. Panini could have 10 sets, but just make all base cards. No chase cards, no shiny cards, just base cards. A base set of Stadium Club, base set of Chronicles, base set of Prism. You know what I'm saying? Just base set it all. Base set it all. It would never sell. It'd sit on the shelves. No one would buy it. It would be the crashing of the market. Everybody would complain. You know why? Because the new hobby, the modern hobby, needs gambling. They crave it, they beg it. And who's feeding it to them? A gambling company. That is why there's going to be some amazing growth. Now, it's not going to be the same growth you and I think as far as hobbyists and collectors, but revenue wise, I think numbers are going to be pretty big. Like when you look at how much money Topps made off of that one drop in the CJ signing, it's crazy. So all these pack drops, all these chases, all these, there's so many things out there, and we're eating it up. Like logically, you sit there and go, so hey, there's twice as many gold kabooms now because one's a horizontal, one's a vertical. Oh wow, there's twice as many one-on-ones now because one's a horizontal. Like we see this stuff, but it doesn't change our passion or chase. It's weird. I will say this too. I think part of that is that we prop this industry up. There's a lot of fake, false purchases that take place. Like the first card that sells for $1,000. Who cares? It's the 500 transactions that fall between, let's say, $800 and $500, or $800 and $400. They're still way inflated over the true value of that card, which never should be $1,000. It should more likely be a $200 card. But punch people are going to spend a lot of money in between there thinking they got a deal over the $1,000 deal. That is why those first sales go on, guys. It's just setting the bar. It's setting a bar so you falsely believe. You can go to the comps and go, well, two other idiots spent $1,000 for this card, so I'm getting a deal at 800. Think about that. That is the truth. That is why I've always been critical of this market cap crap. I also say this too. I know when I do private deals, again, I'm about getting the best deal for me and them getting the best deal. And a lot of times it's not sharing the details of that deal. I did a deal recently where I sold a card. I'm not going to disclose how much money was paid for that card because I want to protect my interest and the buyer's interest. I don't want people to think I sold too high or I sold too low. Did I make too much money? Whatever I gave for the price, people are going to make a comment on Ziggy's. Why do that? That's why I private sell. Private sell, no receipt. No, 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 no. In fact, I might have a disclosure that you cannot tell people the deal you get when dealing with ZiggyNo. Think about that. Okay. Graders numbers out. I think the big point to talk about grading is that it's not stopping. It's not getting better. Nothing's changing. And what I mean by that is we all look at that and go, oh, SGC is coming up number two. I think it might be CSG. Here's the deal. CSG's had a whole bunch of problems with like the people stealing from them, their comic cases. Here's the deal. All of these companies, guys, all of these companies, I'm going to God honest tell you the freaking red pill truth here. This is a little bit of a rant. They don't care. They are making money. They don't care about shut up. They don't care. Okay, there's a problem. We'll take care of it. They don't care. I mean, customer service, it's retaining customers, but there's also so many that you realize you're not going to retain. They don't care. There's also so many they know that they don't have to care and you'll still come back. They don't care. I can't explain it. My perfect example, I think, is SGC. Everybody loves SGC. And part of the reason I've always said this is most of the influencers on YouTube channels, and I don't know about IG, I don't follow it enough, but many of the influencers on YouTube are subbers or sponsored by SCG. They all have had Peter on their show. Peter's very friendly. He'll come on to an interview. Peter, if you're listening to this, I'm not going to send you a direct invite. I'd love to have you on my show. Do you feel like you want to come on my show? Because you know the questions I'm going to ask you, right? You talked about in 2020, there were 8 employees. You were one of 8. So that tells me that your company is equally as new to this whole thing as HGA. Okay. CSG actually brought graders over from Beckett, chief graders from Beckett. They poached people away. The other thing CSG did, they had a hiring camp back in 2020 where they were hiring and training graders, very open. What the hell has SCG done? Or SGC done? You guys have done nothing. And again, I'm not going to go off on a rant on this, but they don't care. I just put that way. They don't care. They're making money. They're making a lot of money. They're going to do a registry for you. They don't care. They're making a lot of money. They don't care. PSA. I love what Neo said. Is the Death Star fully functional? I really, really debated about starting my own subbing this year. I still do use a friend to sub to. I might change it. I do think I have a board of pluses and minuses why I don't and do go direct. One thing I like is I like not being known as who I am setting my cards, and I like being able to sit here and bitch about PSA where they don't get a package from me going, oh, it's freaking Michael's bitching again. I'm gonna kick his package around. I don't know. I don't want to have that suspicion. So I've always liked the anonymousness of me being able to submit my cards. My point to this is that I do think PSA is I don't want to say they're the best choice right now. I don't know why people would use SCG. I can understand why you might use CGA as the other company, the comic company one. Although they are scaring me, I would go with Tag personally. Although they've kind of weird on their pricing, I just don't think. Why would you reward SGC for doing absolutely nothing for you? Like, stop being such a fanboy. Like the whole comment about, oh, they're first to market, they're fast. Here's what I want to say to this persons who said it. Next time you say that, I want to see you do it. I want to see when you post a video about how one thing I like about SGC is that you can be first to market, you can get your cards back in a week, and you can sell them fast. Do it. Do it. Show it to me. Go do it. Go get some cards, the CJ Stroud cards of the next hot release. I want you to fast grade those contenders autos. I'm sorry, there won't be contenders autos. Whatever they make in contenders, the contenders no autos. I want you to fast grade those puppies with SGC and sell them and show me how much more money you make than somebody else who's going to sell them with PSA. I want you to show me that because I'm going to bet that you will make money. You will, but you will not make as much money as the guy who sells PSA. And most importantly, here's what I'm going to prove. If you're paying attention, you won't do it. You won't do it. Most people are slow. They're lazy. Don't get it done. They don't get the submission in time. They get the submission back. They don't get posted in time. They get posted on. They complain about the posting. Some complaint always comes in on why their card did not get enough views. Oh, I didn't get this. I'm not liked enough. I don't. So don't tell me that I use SGC because I can be first to market. Great, do it. Show it to me. Show me the receipts. Show me receipts of you being first to market with SGC and making so much money. I want to see you doing it. Show me you doing it. Show it to me. Anybody else get my point? I hope I'm not going too long here. Truth about the hobby rant. I think we talked a little bit about this already. Truth about the hobby is, look, first of all, you take a red pill. It's a hobby. And what that means is it doesn't mean it's a hobby. It means a lot of people are making a lot of money in this thing. It is a well-defined, like it is intricate. It's like, I don't want to use this analogy in the wrong way, but I'm imagining the hobby is like if you're sounds terrible, but if you were in Hamas tunnels, you're like, holy shit, these are amazing tunnels. I can't believe the shit they got a kitchen and a TV down here. Like the hobby's deep. Hobby's deep. Hobby's deep. In fact, one thing I've always talked about is the hobby underground. Back in 2015 and 2016, the hobby was not actually very strong. There's some weak basketball classes. I think Michael Brogdon won the Rookie of the Year, and KAT was the other Rookie of the Year. Very weak classes, and at that time, the NBA drove it. Baseball was down as well. This is before Aaron Rodgers and Cody Bellinger in 17. I think Chris Bryant was the big rush in 15, but the crash in 16. Anyway, at this time, the hobby, I was at a point to this, god damn it, was down. It was a very downward market. And yep, I lost it. I lost it. I lost it. Lost the whole point of that point. I will tell you this though. Um, I know one of the points I was trying to make is that these cycles come and go. And a lot of them are driven by rookies. Right now, football has been driving the market with some very strong rookie classes, and we expect to be more. The autograph stuff is really, really screwing the market up. But like I said before, I've said before, you have to be tactical and navigate with attention in the future. Um, let me go ahead, get off my hobby rant about the pricing. I want to talk next about um, Panini and the NBA All-Star game. And in fact, they invest in there. In fact, this is interesting. I heard this on Go GTS Live about a week ago. I've heard two other people talk about this, I think. Um, this is a bigger deal than people think because Panini is clearly not saying we're quitting. We're going to save that money. We're not investing in the NBA anymore. We're done. We're packing up shop. We're going to print what we can and leave. They're still marketing. They're still selling. In fact, I hope in their instant cards they do parallels and number cards in that. I'd love to chase a Wemby numbered NBL All Star game or whatever. Um, so I applaud Panini for still fighting it out in the NBA. Also, Leaf, and those Stanley Cups. I've heard about the Stanley Cups at Targets. I'm like, I could give a shit about thermos. And then I heard about the Stanley Leaf, and my thoughts are there's probably a lot of moms at Target or Stanley fans who bought those chase cards to get that gold Stanley Cup and don't even care about the cards that they got, those Leaf cards. I'd love to know more about the Leaf cards. What cards were in there? What rookies? What was the checklist? And I got to check all that stuff out. But I'd say it's one of the best promotions. I'd love to see more of that. I really would. Like, here's a good example. Another promotion, obviously, Registry. I think PSA, since they're the only one who has a registry, but if someone wanted to come out with a competing registry, which I think is what you have to do to have to register PSA's registry, come out and go, look, tag registry. Tag couldn't do this. I don't know. Universal registry. Uh, for modern sets, you can't do this for old sets. The first person to complete grading the entire, master set of Panini Prism NBA will get 2 NFL tickets to the Super Bowl. In fact, that's pretty cheap when you think about what you're doing. I would say probably send, 5 of the first people to the Super Bowl. In fact, host a Super Bowl party in the city and bring 20 people to the Super Bowl city to party. Host a card show there, have 20 people in from outside the area, and send 2 into the Super Bowl or a couple pairs in the Super Bowl. You could do all that with a registry set. Think about this. Here's my thought. You chase modern stuff, modern baseball, Chrome, full set, master set, all master set. You have to slab it up, and the top scores who get it completed, have all the serial numbers, can share that, can show that, get World Series tickets, get the party in the cities, get, so many cool things, so many crossovers, meet the player, autograph events, signings, paraphernalia, jerseys, all this stuff would be great. Great to have, right? Right? Do you like that? I'll do a video on that later on. Anyway, in closing, I really applaud both Panini and Lee for not quitting. I like that in the sense that, it's not over. Fnatic, it's not over. Fanatics doesn't dominate this market yet. It's not there's going to be a fight. And we, the hobbyists and consumers, which I think our voice needs to be more, I want to say the word self-regulated, organized, can do more. So I'm gonna leave you with that. What am I doing in the hobby? Real quickly, no breaks. I have a break coming back on the Card Hunter channel. Like I said, I did the live video with Mike Ham tonight. Um, I think we do some more educational videos, like what is breaking, what makes good sense in breaking, how to choose a breaker. I'm getting ready for NBA Prism, but I'm cautious on that. I really am really, I'll be honest, I really want the NBA Monopoly Prism. I really want Monopoly Prism, and I didn't buy the retail because I said I'm not gonna buy the retail. I'll buy breaks. I'm wishing I bought some of those retail boxes now. They're like 40, $50 a piece now. It's ridiculous. So I don't know. That's what I'm doing. I'm enjoying cards. I got cards at PSA. Cards came back. I've really sorted through a bunch of stuff. I've been sending out some care packages to people. I feel good. One thing I really need to work on is my Funko Pops. I got to sell some Funko Pops. And I'm not talking just Funko Pops. My Funko Pop limited edition NFT redeemed in the hand Funko Pops. Need to get rid of them. Like, comment, subscribe.